Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
And we are off and running. NBA Finals, U.S. Open, and government screwing with gambling. All of that on the docket today. My name is Jason Hammer. I host the Hammer and Nigel Show here in Indianapolis. Also joining me, former elected official, tax-cutting machine, and #1 rated radio host on his own right, Mr. Rob Kendall. Rob, how are you?
I am fabulous, Hammer. How about those Pacers?
So we're going to use your political background here in just a little bit because I don't like what's happening in the state of Illinois. Screwing with the gamblers. But let's talk a little Pacers here. NBA Finals, Pacers lead 2-1. I know a lot of tickets were busted last night for people that had Thunder in 5. That is not going to happen. Pacers still have an opportunity to cash your 125-1 ticket, Rob.
Yes!
That you made at the All-Star break with the Indiana Pacers.
And here you have entered the best position as a bettor to be in because you also on this program made a bet, and you are now in a no-lose position in which you bet with plus money that the series would go at least 6 games.
Over 5.5 games, got me plus money, put a healthy wager on it. Pacers have done their part. They've won 2 games now. So barring some sort of Pacers 4-1 series win, which I'd be fine with.
You are okay.
I am going to win. So I will either win my large wager and get plus money, or the team that I've watched since I'm a little boy hangs their first championship banner.
Okay, now let me ask you this, because nobody loves gambling more than you.
Correct.
And you have been this way the entire time I've known you, even when gambling wasn't, quote-unquote, legal in our state. Okay, let's say the Pacers win Friday night, which puts them up 3-1.
Yes.
So they're going back to Oklahoma City. One more win, and they win the NBA championship. But you would lose your bet if they win it in Oklahoma City. Are you cheering for the Pacers in Game 5 if they're up 3-1?
Absolutely, because I can win the money back. I made a $100 bet, which basically will just pay me double if the Pacers Oklahoma City series goes at least 6 games. But the chances of the Pacers winning another championship in my lifetime, right? This is kind of the perfect storm because Tatum got hurt in Boston and the Bucks were banged up in the first round. And then in the second round, Cleveland was banged up. Now, yes, the Pacers got hot at the right time, and Tyrese Halliburton is a dude. And put some respect on Rick Carlisle's name because he is coaching these dudes up. But this is the time. This is the run. If you're the Indiana Pacers, there's not some generational superstar like Kobe and Shaq back in 2000 here to beat you. Jordan's Bulls are not here to beat you. This is the time if you're the Pacers, so I'm all in. This is the opportunity. I would love to see a parade and a banner at the Fieldhouse.
Okay, real quick. So right now, depending on what app you use, you can get the Thunder, despite being down 2-1, they're still minus 230.
Yes.
It started out minus 750.
Great value on the Thunder right now.
So do I, with the 125-1 in my pocket if the Pacers win, do I heavy hedge? Because you know if the Thunder win Game 4, those odds are going to shoot back in the Thunder's favor, and the hedge, it's going to be kind of pointless, right? So right now would be the time. If you're going to hedge, because let's face it, if the Thunder are going to win the series, they're going to have to win Game 4 in Indiana.
Right. If the Thunder win Game 4, they win the series.
They're back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, because then it goes back to OKC where they will probably throttle the Pacers and go up 3-2, and then the Pacers have to sweep the last 2 home and home.
And clearly Vegas thinks that's going to happen because based on the fact that, or the populace, I guess, thinks that's going to happen. The money thinks that's going to happen because it's minus 230. My best chance to hedge would be right now if I was going to do it at minus 230. Should I do that, or does that make me a crappy citizen of the city of Indianapolis?
Well, you're a crappy citizen anyway.
Thank you.
But I'm not mad at a hedge. Like, you do this with the Chicago Bears,
That's
right?
right.
You always bet money line on whoever the Bears are playing.
That's right.
It's usually not that big of a payout because the Bears usually stink, but either way, you're going to have some sort of gratification at the end of the day.
Let me tell you like how this bit me in the ass recently, shall I, by not hedging. Because I'm a let-it-go guy. I always view betting as buying cheap entertainment. I don't bet the sort of money you do. So I'll bet long odds a lot because if one of my long odds is in it, then I'm getting free entertainment. So the PGA Championship, we'll talk about the U.S. Open here in a second. PGA Championship was a couple weeks ago. I got John Rahm on Sunday at 26-1. He was way back. I said, I think he's going to play well today. I got Rahm at 26-1. He elevates himself to the top of the leaderboard on the back nine. And I'm sitting there like, I could hedge because it's Scotty Scheffler as his competition. And I thought, well, then either way I would win the bet. And I'm like, no, man, I came here to party. P-A-R-T-Y. I'm hanging with Rahm. And then 2 holes later, he blows up and is completely out of the tournament.
And like everybody that's with you would be like, yeah, Rob, you're doing the right thing. Let it ride. And then afterwards, man, you really should have hedged your bet.
How did you not see that guy was going to just run out of gas on Sunday, right? I mean, it's like this huge comeback, comes all the way back, ties the tournament, and then can't hit the ball out of his shadow. So I feel like maybe I should learn from that. Maybe I should go ahead and hedge.
Okay, so here's the deal. If you're listening to this podcast right now, before Game 4 on Friday, we're recording this at noon on a Thursday. Hit us up on social media. You can find him on Twitter at Rob M. Kendall or me at Jason Allen Hammer, A-L-A-N, or find the Degenerates Next Door show page. It's a little cartoon picture of Rob and I. Either one of those things. Let us know. Should Rob hedge his bet, or does that make him a Nancy boy that needs a purse?
Here's the other thing that was wild. So I've been keeping track at the end of every series, basically, of what my buyout is. Because I thought, well, it's such a big bet. I wonder what the payout is from the app. And then after there was one after the Pacers won Game 1. I thought, oh no, I came here to dance. We're letting this ride. And then after Game 2, when the Thunder won easily, the buyout completely went away.
Yep.
And I thought, there's nothing? Not even like $3?
It's deal or no deal. Sometimes the deal gets taken off the table.
Now, I got to check now to see what the buyout is since the Pacers won Game 3, which clearly the Vegas didn't think, or the app didn't think Pacers are going to win Game 3, if the buyout is even back on the table.
Yeah, you'd be a fool to cash right now because Vegas still thinks the Thunder are going to come back to win this thing.
Yeah. So the hedge is really my best chance.
Should Rob hedge? Let us know. We're easy to find here on the Degenerates Next Door. U.S. Open underway. Again, we do this recording at noon on a Thursday. You've had just a couple of hours to see this course, but you've been talking about this course for a number of weeks. You said it's going to be total carnage, total annihilation. What you've seen so far early on, is that accurate?
Yeah, so here's what's going on so far. And by the way, some guy named J.J. Spawn is winning as of this recording.
Dynamite!
J.J. Spawn ain't winning the U.S. Open, okay? Here's the thing, though. Our boy, Britt, Kenny Britt, when we talked to him, we're talking to him today, right?
Yes.
Britt owes me a big thank you because he's in some fantasy golf thing, and he gave me a bunch of goobers, and he's like, which of these goobers do you think, because you have a salary cap or whatever, and they're worth a certain amount, and on the list of the goobers that I gave him was J.J. Spawn. So Britt's probably going to blow past because he had to get that guy into the weekend. Britt's probably going to make a bunch of money. And if he doesn't even thank me for telling him, J.J. Spawn, here.
Now, let's be honest. There's also a very good chance that the moment after we finish this podcast, it's a bogey fest from old Dynamite J.J. Spawn.
That's probably true. But, yes, it is thus far. There were only a handful of guys in the morning round that were even under par. It's the first day. The first day is normally the scoring day in the U.S. Open. The course gets firmer. It gets harder. The pin locations get harder. Yes, it is. This course, Oakmont, hell on earth. Men will perish. Men will not make it to the weekend. They'll come out in body bags. Thus far, yes, it is. As long as it doesn't rain on, I think Saturday's the only day that they're predicting a chance of rain. We could see the all-time modern day scoring record, which is 7 over, get broken.
Let me set some music here. This is the music I want to hear in the background of you talking about this course again, Rob. Give it to me one more time.
Yes, there may be men who perish, Hammer. There may be men who don't come back alive. You know who's going to win? The type of guy who would have stormed the hill at Iwo Jima, the guy who would have raised the flag for his country. That's what you're going to need to win the U.S. Open this year at Oakmont.
That's what we're talking about right there. All right, so for those listening, maybe for the first time, you were a former elected official in the state of Indiana. You were a tax-cutting machine.
Right.
You weren't some of these wishy-washy politicians that are like, I promise a tax cut, then turn around and do the opposite. People actually hated you because you lowered their taxes. Like politicians hated you.
Yeah, that's right. 18.5% property tax rate reduction in 4 years. I think that's still the record. And I'm not one to toot my own horn, but yeah,
No.
that was pretty damn good.
I mean, that's a pretty solid run. What's normal like on property tax? Like,
Well, they almost always go up, right? Unless you have someone who loves his country far more than himself, like me, calling the shots.
so again, Rob's not one to toot his own horn, but so I'm going to need the former elected official to weigh in on this because what's happening in the state of Illinois stinks. Now, look, politics in Illinois is embarrassing.
Yes.
Like they've gone through a stretch where like multiple governors, one right after the other, ended up in federal prison.
That's right.
I mean, I'm not joking. Look that up. Look up how many governors in Illinois have gone to prison. But now there's a new bill that came up through the State House in Illinois, through the legislature, that states that sports betting is going to be given a additional tax from the state of Illinois. They're going to put an additional tax on any sports bet made on an app, which again is geo-tracked, or if you go to a physical sports book, an extra tax. So hearing that, we're now seeing some of these major DraftKings and FanDuel and other sports betting outlets say, oh, okay, is that what you're going to do? Well, we're going to put an extra tax on the people making bets on our apps. So they're going to get their money back. They didn't like the fact that the state of Illinois was trying to weasel some of the money that bettors were willing to put down on the sports book. You see what I'm saying?
Well, this is what anytime that they call it a fee, right? At any time there's a fee or tax or whatever they want to use, it's put onto a company. They're going to pass it along to the consumer. The corporations do not pay taxes. You pay it in the price of whatever the thing is. So if there's a tolling tax, the truckers are going to pass it on to you on the price of goods. Anytime you hear tax on, we should tax the corporations, the big guys. Well, okay, fine, but they're going to give it to you. And that's exactly what you're seeing in Illinois, which FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever.
Right, here's the article I was looking for. I just found it. FanDuel will begin charging a 50-cent transaction fee on every bet placed on its platform in the state of Illinois starting on September 1st. This transaction fee is in response to a recent tax increase on sports books in Illinois.
And so what you're going to see with that then, and it always screws the little guy. It's always about, yeah, we're going to tax the rich. We're going to soak the big guys. You never soak the big guys. Why? Because the big guys got an army of lawyers and accountants that know how to get around the system. Oh, and the big guy always gives the money to the politicians. You know who gets soaked when there's tax increases? People like me, the poor people. So what you're going to see is the low-level bettor, somebody like me who's always like, sure, I'll throw a buck on some guy at 26-1 on a Sunday to have a few hours of entertainment. You're going to go, well, half of it's going to be taxed.
Right.
I'm not doing that anymore. So they're going to see less play. The big guys are still, if you're making a $100 bet, you're not going to not make it because of a 50-cent fee.
Correct.
The big guys are going to continue to play. You're going to see less people playing. And like everything else with government, they completely ruin it because fun is not allowed.
That's Rob Kendall. I'm Jason Hammer. NBA Finals Game 4. It is coming up on Friday night. These are my picks. Okay?
Yeah.
Went 3-0 last night. Ran the table on props. Let's do it again.
Including, real quick, let's point out, TJ McConnell. You had a bet with TJ McConnell, who is a Broad Ripple 8 at home. He is a Broad Ripple 3 on the road. And you took advantage of that, and you won money.
And I'd like to point out that T.J. McConnell's sister is a Broad Ripple 8 at home and on the road. God bless Meg McConnell. For those who have not seen the younger sister of one TJ McConnell, she is she's not ugly. Let's put it that way.
Well assembled.
She is well assembled. All right, these are my plays for tomorrow. Tyrese Halliburton of your Indiana Pacers over 18.5. Now, look, Oklahoma City may very well win this game on Friday night. But I think Halliburton sees now he has to be active. He has to shoot the ball. He's got to get to the bucket. He's got to create some offense. 18.5. I think that's a workable number. We're going to ride the Lightning. We're going to go over. Same thing with Benedict Mathurin. He's been coming off the bench for the Pacers. Had a big game on Wednesday night. Over 10.5 points for Benedict Mathurin off the bench. He's going to shoot, and that's all we can ask for, right? As gamblers, you just want an opportunity. He is not one to pass up an open shot anytime soon.
I love Mathurin because he reminds me of like a Lance Stevenson who used to play for the Pacers, in which, in any game, he could score 30, or he could get ticked off on the first play, throw the ball in a player's face, and be ejected. I think it's all on the table with Mathurin.
We know that because I lost a bet. I had a multiple leg parlay that would have hit, other than the fact that Benedict Mathurin was ejected in 8 seconds when I needed him to hit over 1.5 threes.
Right. That's right. I'd forgotten about that. Yes.
Like, I don't know if he would have hit over 1.5 threes that game, but I would have liked more than 8 seconds to play with. And lastly, we're going to go back to TJ McConnell here, Rob. Assists over 3.5. That's his thing. He's going to get to the bucket. He's going to throw a dangerous pass. Sometimes it goes for a layup. Sometimes it goes to the other team. I'll ride the Lightning. I'll go over 3.5 with TJ McConnell. Now, there is a Thunder play that I like, but I believe one of our professional guys is in on it too, David Stephanoff.
Okay.
So I'm going to let him drive the boat on that one. But the Thunder play, and it involves Shea, might be my favorite of all the prop bets. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. But Kenny Britt of KB Sports, he's coming up next. He's going to have his first reaction to the line that has just been released for Game 4. Thunder are a 6-point favorite on the road at Indiana. That's up from being a 5.5-point favorite on Wednesday. We'll talk to Kenny Britt of KB Sports about that. He'll give some free plays. Don't go anywhere. This is The Degenerates Next Door. The Degenerates Next Door podcast. I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall right across from me. Rob and I, not professional handicappers, despite the fact that I went 3-0 last night. Damn right. But what we do on this program is we bring in professional handicappers. And one of our favorites is Kenny Britt of KB Sports. Kenny, we got a chance to hang out at a Shelbyville casino, Caesar Sportsbook, a little bit last week. It was nice to meet some fellow degenerate listeners.
Yeah, that was a great time, great show. Had a lot of people show up. I got to meet some clients from up in northern Indiana. And that was just a great all-around time, man. And, yeah, it was a great time out there.
Now, I know you were high on the Thunder to start this series.
Here we go.
Hey, listen, when I lose, I hear crap, and you got to do the same here.
Yes, I'm taking it. Let's go.
Pacers lead this series 2-1. The line for Friday is out. And again, at the time of this podcast, it's noon on Thursday. Oklahoma City Thunder, a 6-point favorite. They were 5.5-point favorites for the game on Wednesday night. 6-point road favorites now. Over under right around 225, depending on where you look. These lines just came out. Your first reaction?
My first reaction would be there's still no respect for the Pacers at all. And my first reaction would be the under on the game total, 225. As this series gets deeper, as we get deeper into the series, they're learning each other. Last night I gave out 2 overs on the first quarter and the first half that both hit. But these second halves, man, it's defense. And so I think the game total under 225, first reaction sounds pretty good. We've talked about this on the show. Every talking head in the country talks about it. Tyrese Halliburton is Jekyll and Hyde. Sunday night, I was so mad at him Sunday night. Last night, he was a superstar.
Right.
He was a superstar last night. I just wish we knew who was going to show up He's 20. The Pacers are 20-1. They said last night when he has a double-double. I mean, that's a mic drop stat. You don't need to say anything else about it.
What do we make of this crazy statistic that as good as Oklahoma City is, and listen, let's be honest, they were the best team in the NBA this past year, had one of the great regular seasons of all time.
Yeah.
0-8 against the spread on the road in these playoffs. If you're telling me they had a losing record against the spread, all right, fine. They're 0-8 against the spread. That's a pretty damning number.
Yeah, you're exactly right. If you were saying 1-3 or 2-4, that's one thing. But 0-8, there's something to that. And they're struggling on the road. They've only got one go-to guy. The Pacers, they've got Siakam and Turner and a couple other guys. They've only got one go-to guy. Williams here and there, but, it's SGA. And if he's off, then they're in trouble. So, I want the Pacers to win so bad I can taste it, and I hope they do, but I'm still scared. I don't have any idea why Vegas has that line set at 6 for tomorrow night.
Well, if you're a Thunder backer like you have been from the beginning here, Kenny, you can probably get the better value now on Oklahoma City that you've had in a long time.
Yeah, I should have checked that this morning, what the Thunder are to win the series now. I wonder if they're even plus money maybe. I should have checked that. I didn't look at that yet.
Let me check this here real quick
that
because
would be an
if you're looking for value here, let me see. You can get Thunder minus 235, Pacers plus 185 to win the championship.
Wow. That's a lack of respect. That kind of pisses me off.
I'm looking at Bet Rivers right now, and I would imagine it's kind of somewhat similar to other sports books.
It'd be the same everywhere. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, that's just disrespectful, isn't it?
Well, I know Rob Kendall's crapping snowballs over here because he jumped on the Pacers at 125-1 at the All-Star break, and he's 2 away. So,
hey, if he wins that bet, the show after that, just let him talk about Bragg. Give him the whole 30 minutes, man, because that would be 125-1 is awesome.
All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. Let's put some cash in our bank accounts. Let's put some cash in these apps. What action do you have?
I like a baseball game tonight. St. Louis at Milwaukee. You're a Cubs fan. I'm a Reds fan. We both hate the Cardinals, but
right.
Sonny Gray's on the mound tonight. Milwaukee starting. They just called up their number one prospect, a rookie. So just going against the odds here. St. Louis is only like minus 135-ish. So I like St. Louis tonight at Milwaukee minus 135.
All right, there we go. If somebody wants to become a client of yours, if they want to become a VIP member where they get picks on all sports, including your horse racing expertise, where can they go?
Yep, I'm on Facebook at KB Sports. NBA playoffs, I've been just absolutely crushing it. 44 and 28 now. Absolutely crushing NBA playoffs. Baseball's been a little back and forth here in the last 10 days. Still keeping our head above water. We're like 30 games over 500 in baseball in the year. And football, man, training camp starts in another month, and I just can't wait. I can't wait.
Now, are you going to be one of these Steeler fans that are like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, boo, boo, and then the Steelers start 2-0, and you're going to be like, oh, my God, it's like Chuck Knowles, the head coach again?
I absolutely will be. I'm going to tell you, I've been crying about Aaron Rodgers since January on our text threads. Here's my hope, my thought and theory, I hope. Andy Reid and Mike Tomlin are far and above the most respected coaches in the NFL.
True.
The Steelers are the most stable franchise in all of sports, all 4 leagues, easily. I think my hope is Aaron Rodgers, his egotistical bullshit dies down. He respects where he's at, Tomlin, the Steelers, and he just throws the ball to DK Metcalf. That's all I want him to do. Just throw the ball to DK Metcalf and shut up.
And listen, you don't need him. And again, I'm not trying to carry the water for the Steelers or Aaron Rodgers, trust me, but you don't need him to be Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. You just need him to not be Anthony Richardson. You need him to not be Will Levis. And you guys, meaning Steelers, you make the playoffs with the worst quarterback room in the league, with all due respect to the Indianapolis Colts last year, the year before. And it's a tough division, but Tomlin is that good of a coach. That defense is that good. If you just have somebody that is a competent game manager, and if he puts up the same,
you're right.
he puts up the same numbers that he did last year, which weren't awful. They're just not Aaron Rodgers like. Steelers are going to be fine.
Yeah, we just need him not to lose, and we hate that term, but game manager fits here. And Arthur Smith made a quote 2 days ago. He loves to run the ball. That's their offensive coordinator. He said, "We didn't pay DK Metcalf all that money and Aaron Rodgers all that money to run the wishbone." So that I like what he's saying. If we start out 5-1, 6-0, I'll be tickled pink. But I just hope that the culture, the Steeler culture, and Mike Tomlin simmers down Aaron Rodgers' egotistical whatever he has in his brain of who he is, and he just plays football. That's all I want to do is play football and shut up.
I don't hate Aaron Rodgers like a lot of people do. I just hate the Steelers, Kenny, and I hope you lose every goddamn game.
I know. Hey, respect. And we'll have to talk another show when we got more time about what the hell's going on with AR. Boy, this is going to be bad with Richardson. I don't know what the heck's going on.
We're going to have a lot of time to talk NFL, college football, week one lines here once these NBA finals are done, but that'll be in a couple weeks. Kenny Britt, KB Sports, my man, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
All right, coming up next, another professional handicapper, David Stephanoff. Follow neverfade.com. He's the man behind it. We'll get his thoughts on these NBA finals and some other action he may have. That is coming up next. Back on the Degenerates Next Door. I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall is here. One of our professional handicappers is David Stephanoff of followneverfade.com. And David, just like Kenny, got a chance to hang out with you last Thursday in Shelbyville at the Caesars Sportsbook inside the casino there. Again, thanks for coming out, man. That was fun.
Hey, it was great having you. Thank you, Hammer, again, Rob, Kenny, and Nigel was there. Yeah, I had a great time. A lot of Pacer fans. Glad the Pacers. A couple of us gave up the Pacers. I gave up the Pacers money line.
There you go.
And then one guy gave us OKC. I haven't seen him all week. But, anyways, but our Pacers got home. I just said. I said what we said in the casino. You interviewed the sportsbook manager like an hour before we was on. And them guys are there for a reason. They build these places to beat people. And like I said, Vegas will will clean up if the Pacers win this series. That's what I keep thinking. It's one spot, and Vegas has a pretty good shot to clean up on.
Hey, I know you've got some prop bets for Game 4, individual player bets coming up here, and I want to get to those in just a moment, but the lines have came out for Friday, and I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at this yet. Oklahoma City is a 6-point favorite on Friday night in Indianapolis. They were 5.5-point favorites on Wednesday, 6-point favorites on Friday. The over-under right around 225. First reaction, any of those things stick out to you?
The line is telling people, Vegas knows that people don't want to bet the Pacers when the OKC's are back against the wall. Again, this is how they make their money. I mean, they've set this line. Pacers have won outright twice, and these lines have been 11 and been 5.5 last night. And Pacers win easily last night in the second half, and they make the line 6. It's not based on who they like. It's based on what people are going to bet. People aren't going to bet the Pacers. People are going to bet Oklahoma City. So they're just setting their lines up to regardless of. They got a huge advantage. They got the Pacers and they got the points because people are going to tease money. How many Oklahoma City money line teasers and parlays were busted last night? All those Oklahoma City fans are sick. That line, the total though, this total's awful low. Like get into my props. I'm about to talk in a second. I like the OKC team total over 115. I just think it's too low. This game it's been 120 almost every game. They drop it down 5 points for the next game. I think that's too low based on my other prop play, which I'm going to tell you, Hammer, is SGA over 35 points. He's going to come out not like Jordan in the next game and do everything. He's going to shoot the ball, do everything he can in his power to get this team to win. I just think that over 115 in the next game looks great, and I think SGA getting his 35 is probably going to happen because he hits that 35 quite often. He hit 35 the game before and had a last game. But look for him to go off. Jalen Williams finally went off that last game. But I think SGA in that over points and the over 115 hammer. I just that total is too low. I think that's one team usually goes cold. First, like Kenny, I know in our group chat, Kenny said he had the first half over. They were flying over yesterday in the first half and then slowed down the second half.
Yeah, I like the SGA play because I'm with you. I feel like with their backs somewhat against the wall, they're going to lean on their dude, and he's going to take a lot more shots. He's going to be more aggressive going to the hole. He's going to get to the free throw line. You're going to get probably 14, 15 points from the free throw line alone from SGA.
The game's going to be in his hands. He's going to control the game. So I think that's one of the easiest plays on the board.
And then you also like Oklahoma City's team total over 115.
Yes, sir. That's awful. That's awful low. It's just awful low. They dropped to 5 points. It's been 119, 120 past the first four games. So I think this is awful low for Vegas. Kind of overcompensated on that one.
All right. So those are the two plays that you have for Game 4, Friday night, 8:30 NBA Finals. Anything else piquing your interest, whether it be with this series or anything else?
I still stand on what I said at the beginning of the series when I said told people to take the Pacers money line to win the series. 2 through 8, Pacers dominate. We showed it last night. 2 through 8. They got the number one player. Don't get us wrong. That guy is good. His turnaround jumper is, if it's on, it's like it's Jordan like. I just got a couple of things. It comes down to coaching. Our coaching this series is definitely showed a difference. I have no clue, Hammer. I mean, maybe you've seen something that I didn't see. Why OKC changed their starting lineup? You've got the best team in the world, and you change your starting lineup. That blows my mind. Why that coach would do that? Is he trying to outsmart our coach? Because we know our coach is the best in the game.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle, man, put some respect on his name. He is pulling a rabbit out of the hat here. You've got 2 All-Stars. It's questionable whether or not you could say Halliburton is a superstar. He's kind of getting close to that area, but for sure, 2 All-Stars, Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. But right now, your big man, Miles Turner, is getting outplayed by Chet Holmgren. But everybody else, different player, different night, they step up, and that's kind of buying into this whole team concept that Carlisle's got these dudes believing in.
Yeah, Carlisle he's a difference maker. Miles Turner, I heard Carlisle say last night, Miles Turner was almost, if this was a regular season game, he wouldn't have played last night. He's that sick, I think they were saying. I mean, but he's had down series. And I was thinking, we mentioned in our little group that we talked about earlier here off the line. SGA, he plays so much basketball. And I know Halliburton, and when Halliburton be a superstar, and don't get me wrong, I think Halliburton is a superstar. He's Magic Johnson with a little better jump shot, I think. Or better three-point shot. I just don't – he sits a lot of games out. I think OKC takes advantage of us when SGA he don't come out of the game. Like the third or fourth quarter, Halliburton always comes out with 3 or 4 minutes in the third quarter. He don't come back in the fourth quarter. It's like 7-8 minutes left. I think sometimes that hurts the Pacers. SGA, I mean, I know he's young and he's the MVP. He don't come out of the game too often. And I think sometimes Halliburton, if he wants to be that superstar, he needs to assert himself more and be in the game more. I know, but I'm not I'm not knocking Rick Carlisle's coaching style because we both know I'm glad Rick Carlisle's on our team. I know
Halliburton is also dealing with this ankle injury, and he's trying to act like it's not a big deal, but it kind of is.
It is, but I love our Pacers. I love what we're doing. I just know our bench is so good. When our bench plays so good, they're one of the best. We're unbeatable. And like I said, the stat says we've never lost 2 games back to back. Since February or something like that. Hammer. We got the coaching advantage. Their coach changed the starting lineup. I think when the series is over, they're going to go back and why they do that? It made no sense. But hey, go Pacers, boom baby.
There you go. If somebody wants to become a client of yours and get your VIP plays and everything from football to basketball to tennis and in between, where can they go?
Hey, you can message me directly. I post free plays every single day on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Message me directly. You can sign up at winnable.com, winnable/follow, never fade. You get sign up plays that takes you right to your phone. Put a lot of free plays. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. We're got a humongous follow on Instagram because we're on an unbelievable run right now on Instagram. But anyways, right now we got a little tennis going on, NBA Finals, NHL Finals, and baseball's in full full speed right now. They're going, every day till September. But hey, thank you again, Hammer. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kenny. Let's have a great week, and let's get the Pacers. Hopefully next week we come on, we'll be celebrating a parade downtown, Hammer. That's what I'm hoping for.
I like it, brother. Have a good one.
Have a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, that's it. That's it for this week. That's all we got. We got some NBA Finals, got a little U.S. Open talk, and follow us on our individual Twitter channels at Rob M. Kendall, at Jason Allen Hammer, or find the Degenerates Next Door show page. That's where we often put the link of the show. If I have some racing plays, I'll put those out for you free as well. All right, for Rob Kendall, for Kenny Britt, and David Stephanoff, I'm Jason Hammer. Good luck, everybody, and as always, may the odds be ever in your favor.